Today I'd like to do a quick video showing you what steps I take after I purchase a Milsurp rifle before I shoot it, disassembly, and then the cleaning and the first shot through it before I actually shoulder it and fire it. So this is a rifle that I just acquired. I haven't done anything to it yet. This is a Remington Mosin Nagant 1918, matching numbers here. So what I'm going to do is disassemble it, and then I'll show you closer up views of things for the cleaning that I would go through before I actually shoot these. And I just have this here, a little screwdriver set. It's pretty simple. It serves my needs at the moment versus getting into more elaborate ones, and eventually I will get there for that. So let's take this apart real quick. Okay, so I have it disassembled now. I'm not going to take down the bolt for this, just to show you the process, but this is what I do to check the stock underneath the barrel and check the barrel that's underneath the stock. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod here and show you the close-ups of the different parts. But I do have a one-piece cleaning rod for the 30 caliber, and I also have one for the 22 calibers. I also use this shotgun rod with the brush, and I'll show you that real quick when I get to that part. So let's take the camera off and show you a close-up view. So here's the bolt, and you can see that, there's cosmoline, the varnish on there that needs to be cleaned off. You can see it down in through there, back up here, again, turning it over. All of this, I will have to disassemble this bolt and get it cleaned up good. Here's, the bolt face. I mean, that's pretty dirty and grimy in through there. Here's the front barrel band. You can see up under there. Also, the dirt and stuff in through there. I got to get all that cleaned up. The rear barrel band, you can see the buildup on that down in through there. And, the screw there, it doesn't look bad. Clean out through the slot a little bit. You can see here on the magazine, you can definitely tell the line there be on the bluing and the buildup of junk. The cosmoline and stuff down in through there. You know, all of that's, I've got to get cleaned up. And then the tang, it doesn't look bad, a little bit down through the slot. Now the stock here, it looks like somebody sanded on it and put some type of finish back over it. It's a really rough finish texture. I don't know if they somehow varnished it and it didn't cure out right or something, but I want to try to take that off and at least have somewhat of a smoother texture feel to it. And so up underneath here, you know, this doesn't look bad down through here. You know, it's not like it's been oil soaked and you can see, like I said, you know, how that looks right there. That's just, again, looks like somebody tried to clean this up and didn't do a good job. All right, so we'll move on to the barrel and the action. And we'll look on the underside first. So it doesn't look like I've got a lot of pitting there or anything. It's just needs to be cleaned and oiled. You know, I've got some places where it's rubbed off and the bluing. But back here to the action again, let's look here. You know, you can see across where the wood line is. Clean that up there on the trigger and, you know, clean up down in through here on the chamber. You know, that's going to have to be cleaned up on the sear down in through there and the trigger. And, you know, one of the main things though before shooting, let me see if I can get a good angle and show you, is, you know, you always need to check the bore. Let me see if we can get in through here. You gotta check that bore. You know, make sure it's not plugged up cosmoline, rust, pitting, possibly had a bore obstruction and somebody shot it, so you got a ring bore. So this, you know, my first step is, you know, checking, make sure nothing's broken, you know, everything's tight. I'll disassemble it, clean it. So what I'll do is I'll pull up another rifle that I've gone through, and I'll show you what I'm going to do for my first shot before I actually shoulder it. So we'll get this out of the way. I'll just reassemble it to get it out of the way. Okay, a couple of things real quick before I show you about shooting my first shot is these screws here on these bands, they work the opposite way. You, in a sense, tighten them because you're turning that screw on that band to actually loosen the band, and then when you're actually like working the opposite way, then it's pulling that band together. So first time people that acquire rifles, don't start working the screws the way that you think they should. Try them. If it's not working, don't keep cranking on it. Try the opposite way first and see which way they do work before you actually ruin the bands or the screws. So I told you I had my 30 caliber cleaning rod cleaning down through the bore and everything. But I also use this shotgun rod with the brush on it. So what I get up here and do then is I actually get up in here and use that to clean up in through the chamber there, which rather than trying to put a cloth, I do put a cloth up in there, but this helps get that extra grime and junk out of there. And I use that almost on all of my rifles that I buy, and then check it to make sure up through there it's clean, to make sure as I close that bolt on the bullet, the casing, that I'm not having any sticking or not having a hard time closing it or opening it. I want to make sure that's as clean as I can get it. So let's show you real quick what I do with a rifle that I've already cleaned in my first shot. So let's get this put back together. Get this out of the way. So what I have here is the Japanese Arisaka. It's the long rifle, and soon I'll be making a video on this one to put out, talking about that and me shooting it. But for the purpose today, I'll show you what I do before I run a lot of ammo through it. So I always load up just one bullet. I don't load up the magazine to full magazine. If anything happens, you know, I just don't want extra bullets in there causing problems. One bullet, and I test fire it. So for me, I always shooting down towards my target with the backstop. I know what's behind the backstop. I know there's nothing else back behind there that if it's not hitting, it's going to cause any type of problems or damage. Then what I do myself, this is just me. Other people do it different ways, just to help in case something happens. This helps possibly contain it. Then all I do is like this. So now I want to look at the casing, make sure there's no bulges in it, no cracks, fractures. Look at my primer. I've got a good primer strike here. It's not flattened. You know, just checking for excessive pressure or head spacing issues. Plus it ejected well, you know, no sticking to it. It wasn't hard to get it out. So those are the steps that I take before I actually load this up and make the videos that I do in shooting these. So I hope this is helpful. There's other ways for doing that. You know, you could mount it up, secure it, use a string and use the string to pull the trigger so you're farther away. That's just the process that I go through. Again, I'm pretty sure, make sure my rifles don't have any type of issues, cracked stocks, where it's going to be detrimental to shooting it. Like I said, bore obstructions that I haven't cleaned it good, cosmoline rust, pitting, just things like that. So hopefully this has helped you, and again, thank you for watching the videos.